Hey, Agnes. Long time no speak. Where are you right now?
Casey! Yes, it's been a long time indeed. What can I do for you, my dear? I'm out running some errands at the moment. Why?
Me and Gary just arrived at your house.
Huh? My house?
Yes, your house. We did tell you we were coming before.
Oh, silly me, it must have slipped my mind. Well, what can I do for you, my dear?
We came to check on Albert. We were worried when we heard you'd be taking full responsibility for him and looking after him at home. I see.
Well, what do you want me for? Is there something I can do for you, dear? My husband's at home, is he not?
Agnes? I don't want to be rude or anything, but I think what's going on here is horrible.
Horrible? What the devil are you talking about?
The situation with Albert. You're not caring for him at all, are you? He told us he hasn't taken a bath for a month. He has to crawl to the toilet on his hands and knees. The porta potty in his room was overflowing. I've never seen anything so disgusting in my life.
Oh, well, if you're so upset, why don't you do it yourself?
We already did.
Oh, you did? That's excellent, dear. I'm so pleased for you. In that case, is there really any need to bother me with your withering? I'm a busy woman, you know. My time is valuable. And if you'd stop wasting it, I'd be incredibly grateful. You must be mad if you think I have the time to devote myself single-mindedly to looking after my husband.
I get that you're busy with but this is going too far. Albert's been the most loyal husband a woman could ever hope for. He'd go to the end of the earth and back for you, and you know it. The least you could do is look after him properly as his health fails him.
Well, excuse me, Casey, but you seem to be under the false impression that you have the right to preach to your mother-in-law about what she should and shouldn't be doing. How dare you talk back to me? Back in my day, you'd have gotten the belt for this. If you're so upset by the situation with my husband, then I suggest you stop complaining and look after him yourself.
Wow, seriously? Does that mean you intend to continue leaving him to fester in his own waste? No one owes Albert a bigger debt of gratitude than you do. How can you even bear to see him like this? He's your husband of 50 years, for crying out loud.
I'm caring for him in my own way, thank you very much. Everyone's standards are different, so stop your self-righteous pontificating and either do something about it or remove yourselves from my house.
You're caring for him? Which part of this counts as care? You have some whacked-out definitions if you actually believe that.
I'm doing the bare minimum, aren't I?
For your husband of 50 years? He deserves more than this. Even if he was a stranger, he's still a human being. Do your job properly.
The doctors told me he only has 6 months left to live at best. What's the harm in making his care as brisk and efficient as possible if he'll be kicking the bucket soon anyway? Besides, he's the one who was so desperate to come home because he said he'd felt more at ease there. But that doesn't mean I ever agreed to look after him. He should be grateful that he's even getting the bare minimum out of me with nerve like that.
Oh my God.
He'll continue to get the bare minimum, and if he or any of you meddling busybodies don't like it, you can lump it.
Something tells me you're not even doing the bare minimum.
Like I told you, if you're that bothered, do it yourself.
But we live a 5-hour return trip away from you. If Albert's gonna live out his final months at home like he wanted, then I really think you should hire a professional carer.
A professional carer? You must think I'm made of money. I tell you what, since I'm so kind, I'll let you move in if you're so desperate to look after my husband. Let's see if you're willing to put your money where your mouth is.
Fine, I will. I'll do it. I'll look after him.
Really, I must say I am impressed. You're even stranger than I thought. I know what your game is. You think if you can suck up to him while he's still around, he'll write you into his will and you'll hit the jackpot when he dies, don't you?
No, that is most definitely not what my game is.
I'm pleased to hear that, dear. All right, well, I'm counting on you to look after my Albert. You should know this means I won't be lifting a finger for him from now on, so you'd better take it seriously. Needless to say, you won't be getting a cent out of me either.
Agnes, what time will you be getting home today?
I'm at a concert with my friends, so I won't be back anytime soon. I won't be needing any supper tonight.
I see. Look, I told you this yesterday, but you didn't reply. But Albert's health has taken a major turn for the worse over the last few days. I'm not sure he has long left.
Oh, yes, I remember you telling me. Is he finally going to kick the bucket soon?
Ugh, don't talk about your husband like that.
He's the selfish oaf who decided he had to spend his final moments at home instead of surrounded by the professionals at the care facility. I'll be relieved to finally have him out of my hair, but I do wish he'd hurry up. A stubborn blockhead right until the end.
What? The only reason he didn't end up living at the facility in the first place is because you were opposed to the idea. I was speechless when he told me. Apparently you said you didn't want him going into the home because you said you'd rather not waste your money.
I did? Oh, maybe I did. I don't really remember. Oh, well. Even if I did, what's the problem? He has you looking after him now. What use is there in dragging up the past after all this time? If you're so obsessed with him, surely you should be using this time spent whittering at me more productively by changing his diapers or something.
Agnes, please. He doesn't have long left. Won't you at least be there for him at the end?
How many times do I have to tell you I have no interest in looking after my husband? I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. You really are a dimwit.
You don't have to help with looking after him, but can't you at least bring yourself to be there for his final days?
I shall do no such thing. My lovely house now reeks of decrepit, dying old man. I'll have to move at this rate. Oh, yes, that reminds me. I'll be going on holiday the day after tomorrow.
You'd go on holiday at a time like this?
Yes, why wouldn't I? I thought this would be the perfect time for a luxury cruise. I'll be gone for a week.
What the hell, Agnes? Are you joking? The doctor said we should prepare ourselves for the worst soon. Surely you understand he doesn't have long left.
So what if he doesn't?
Isn't there any part of you that wants to be by your husband of 50 years aside when he passes away? The only reason you're able to go off gallivanting and living at large right now is because of Albert's hard-earned money. Don't you feel even the tiniest bit of gratitude?
I would have been grateful if he just hurried up and kicked the bucket sooner. But no, he just had to drag it out and cause me a world of inconvenience. I would have never had to look after him if he'd accepted his fate and gotten out of my hair earlier.
Wow. Listen, Agnes. Albert said there's something he wants to tell you while he's still conscious. Can you at least make some time for that?
I most certainly cannot. Talking to him would mean having to brave that stinking bedroom of his. I can't think of anything I'd rather do less than enter that putrid misery pit.
He says it's very important.
I'm not interested in hearing anything he has to say. Besides, nothing he could possibly tell me could be as important as my cruise. Just tell him to forget about me. As far as I'm concerned, he's already gone. And believe me, I'm enjoying my new single life to the fullest.
But your husband's still alive.
He's bedridden and barely even capable of holding simple conversation. Can you really call that being alive? Ah, they just started letting everyone into the concert hall. Gotta go. Toodles!
I'm not done speaking to you yet. What time will you be coming home tonight?
Are you stupid as well as ugly? I told you I'll be home late. You're such a pain in my ass, you cocky little upstart. Do me a favor and die along with my husband. I'm turning my phone off so you can't harass me anymore, so you may as well not bother messaging me again today.
Agnes, Albert just passed away.
He did? Hooray! Finally! Took his sweet time.
I tried calling you countless times, but you didn't answer.
Well, duh, I'm on holiday. Why should my fun have to be spoiled just because my husband happens to be on the verge of death? I know you were only calling me to whitter and complain about him.
Oh my god, so you knew and still ignored me? You're despicable.
You're an impertinent little brat. What makes you think you have the right to speak to your mother-in-law like that?
Because your attitude towards your dying husband is abhorrent. You make me sick. You didn't deserve a man as kind and caring as him.
I'm sorry you feel that way, darling. Unfortunately for you, he was head over heels with me and did whatever I told him. That's what made him happy. What was it like at the end?
He died peacefully surrounded by his whole family. Apart from you, of course.
Huh. So he had everyone there fawning over him, did he? He always did like attention. What a luxurious way to go. Ah, yes, will there be a funeral?
Obviously.
That's a shame. I won't be able to arrange it myself, what with being on a luxury cruise ship and all. But make sure you go with the cheapest plan. There's no sense in wasting money on a corpse.
Agnes, you're the most despicable, most heartless person I've ever met. Does your cruelty know no end? I hope you know there's no way any of his family are going to agree to that. It's not like we were planning on breaking the bank, but we do at least intend to give him the respect he deserves by giving him a nice send-off.
A nice send-off? Ugh, gross, I could vomit. Oh, I know what this is. You feel brave enough to stand up to me now because you have his family behind you, don't you? Pathetic.
No, it's not like that at all.
Ah, I know. You think you'll get some of his will. Is that it? Just because you cared for my husband in his final days doesn't mean you have any right to his inheritance. You have no right to anything as his daughter-in-law. I'm his wife, and it's all mine. All of it. Tell my dullard of a son he isn't getting any either. I need it all to live on.
What are you talking about? He divorced you. You're not in the will.
Excuse me? What did you just say? He divorced me. Have you lost your mind?
No, he really did divorce you.
Are you confused? Drunk? On drugs? Stupid? Do you think me being a widow now makes us divorced or something? I mean, with me being on my own now, we are divorced in a sense, but certainly not in the way you seem to think.
I don't mean it like that. I mean he literally divorced you.
Casey, would you do me a favor and stop talking nonsense? Dear, oh dear, if there's one guarantee when talking to you, it's that I'll be annoyed by the end of the conversation.
The wake will be held tomorrow. Can't you make it home?
Obviously not. I am on a luxury cruise.
Right, I thought so. Fine. Don't say I didn't warn you. Don't act surprised or come crying to me when you find out. Oh yeah, there was one more thing. Both your relatives and Albert's family said they refuse to have anything more to do with you if you won't come to the funeral. They said you'll be as good as dead to them, and that includes Gary.
Tell them to do as they please. I can live my life in comfort as long as I have the inheritance money. Why would I want to associate with such a bunch of stuck-up, self-righteous busybodies anyway? I'll actually consider myself lucky if I can get rid of my burden of a husband and dimwit of a son in one fell swoop. Casey, are you there? Albert's lawyer just told me I wasn't written into the will. Then he said he couldn't tell me anything else because I'm not family? What the devil is going on? There must be some kind of mistake. Explain this at once. What did you do?
Are you back from your holiday?
What does that have to do with anything?
What's going on? I told you pretty clearly a few days ago that Albert divorced you.
What? But that doesn't make any sense. I never handed in any divorce papers.
No, but I did on your husband's behalf. You can elect a representative if you're not capable of handling them in yourself.
But I didn't sign anything. Did you forge my signature? That's illegal. I'll have the divorce invalidated and get my hands on that money before you know it. Mark my words.
Nope, you most definitely did sign the papers.
No, I did not.
Yeah, you did. It was 10 years ago, remember?
Huh?
Remember when he said he was divorcing you when he found out you were cheating on him 10 years ago? He told us about how you broke down in tears and promised to change your ways, begging him to give you another chance, which he agreed to do because he believed you. He made it clear you wouldn't be getting any more chances and that the next time really would be a divorce, didn't he?
He still remembered what happened 10 years ago?
How could he forget you cheating on him? His condition for giving you one last chance was that you sign a set of divorce papers so he could divorce you immediately the moment you gave him reason to, if it ever came to it. He showed me the pledge you wrote him too. You said you agreed to him handing in the already signed divorce papers in the event that he's decided that was what he wanted.
No way. I thought that was all just to scare me. I never thought he'd actually do it.
You brought this on yourself. He wanted to speak to you before he passed away. I did tell you that, but you wouldn't listen.
I didn't know it was about divorce.
Not my problem. The bottom line here is that you're not in the will, and you're not getting any of the inheritance. All you're entitled to is half of the money from the house.
Is that it? But that barely amounts to $20,000.
You should be grateful you're even getting that. You're the one who spent every last cent of his savings without his permission, I might add. There'd be grounds for a legal challenge there if any of us had the energy to go through the drama. The fact that you think you actually deserve anything beyond that just shows that your arrogance truly knows no bounds.
Am I really not getting a single cent?
Nope, why would you? You're a stranger.
Wait, no, what am I supposed to do now?
Well, first of all, you need to get the hell out of that house. You might have both paid for it, but it was in Albert's name. And he decided to give it to your son. He's putting up for sale, and you're sure as hell not welcome in it anymore. You'll have a month to get your things together and leave. You'll get your share when we sell it.
You mean I have to leave my own home?
Correction, you have to leave Gary's home.
But I can't. I have nowhere else to go. How am I supposed to find somewhere else to live in a month? I won't even be able to afford to pay rent without my share of the money from the house. Even then, how am I supposed to live out my retirement on a poxy $20,000?
I'm repeating myself here, but once again, that's not my problem. Your future has nothing to do with me or Gary, and you need to figure it out on your own.
Enough of this nonsense. There is no point in speaking to you. I'm calling my son.
You may as well not waste your time. He already blocked you.
He did what?
I told you very clearly, didn't I? That he'd sever all ties with you if you didn't show up at his dad's funeral.
Even still, does he really have to be so hasty?
I think you understand how serious he is now. We'll be doing everything else through the lawyer. So he has no reason to speak to you anymore.
You'll still speak with me, won't you, Casey?
Nope. I spent more time with Albert before he passed away than anyone. And he told me there was something he wanted me to know.
There was? What was it? Was it about me by any chance?
Don't make me laugh. He couldn't have cared less about you after the way you treated him. He just wanted me to know how grateful he was for me being there to care for him during his final days. Gary was always there on weekends too. He told us he couldn't have been happier to have such an amazing family.
He had the nerve to live out his last days in peace and happiness after divorcing me and writing me out of his will? Ugh, I hope he rots in hell for this.
If hell's real, I know someone who's definitely going there, but it's not your husband. To think he worked so hard to provide for you, to be there for you and to make you happy, and even went as far as forgiving you when you cheated on him. And you repay him by leaving him to fester in his own waste during his final days when he needed you more than ever. You're the most disgraceful human being I've ever had the misfortune of knowing.
The only disgrace here is my husband. He left me to drown and gave the lifeboat to my son. My son who blocked me.
I know, right? What a shame. It couldn't have happened to a bigger scumbag. Cutting you out of our lives was the easiest decision me and Gary ever made. I hope you live out the rest of your life in despairing loneliness and isolation. For dying alone and depressed in some cold, dark place where you can't bother the rest of humanity.
Casey, there was over $200,000 in my husband's will, right? Do you think you might be able to help me out? Even if it's just a little. I'd really appreciate any support you can give me.
You must be joking. Do you seriously think we'd give you a single cent?
I'm begging you. I'm being 100% serious when I say I won't be able to get by as things stand. How am I supposed to live with no money and no family?
Not my problem.
I apologize for making you look after him. But it's over for me if I don't find some place to live or get my hands on some money, and soon. I mean it, I'll be lying dead in the street before long if you go through with this. I'm begging you, please. Please talk to my son and tell him how sorry I am. I really am, I mean it. Please convince him to give me some money. It doesn't have to be much, anything will do.
You still don't get it, do you? You can die in the street for all we care.
Casey, I may only be your mother-in-law, but that still makes me your mother. How could you say such a horrible thing?
No, you're not. Albert divorced you, remember? You're not my mother-in-law, and you're certainly not my mother. You're nothing. Gary feels exactly the same, so you needn't bother going crying to him either. We're only your family when it suits you. You exasperate me.
Casey, I'm begging you. What do I have to say to change your mind, please? Help me. I can't make it on my own.
Surely it's not because you're on your own that you're screwed, but because you're broke. A reality you brought entirely on yourself. We don't want anything more to do with you for as long as we live. Stay away. Do I make myself clear? I have nothing more to say to you. I can't tell you what a relief it is to finally get you out of our lives, you wretched old hag. After that, we hired some cleaners and a removal company to take care of the house and everything in it, and had our lawyer take care of scaring a desperate Agnes, who was refusing to vacate the premises until leaving. The deed to the house was now in Gary's name, so he technically had no obligation to give her anything, and decided to have it demolished instead of selling. She soon disappeared when she heard the bulldozers would be arriving soon. She's currently living in some shabby rundown apartment near the red light district, while rapidly eating into what remains of the small amount of money she had left. Apparently, she was spotted wandering around the neighborhood where her old house stood before it was demolished, and even knocked on some of the neighbors' door begging for money before being questioned by a cop out on patrol and told to leave. We'd already moved into a new apartment by then, so naturally, she didn't have a clue where we were and had no way of finding us. She must have bought a new phone to bother us with, because me and Gary were bombarded with messages from a phone number we didn't recognize begging for help a few weeks later. Naturally, we blocked her immediately and carried on with our lives. Astonishingly, she managed to message us over 50 times in the space of 10 minutes. But as soon as we realized what was going on, we blocked the number and emptied our inboxes. Not our problem. Something tells me Agnes will never be as happy as her husband was during his final days. And as sad as it is that he's not here with us anymore, there's something very comforting about that. A lonely, miserable end is all that awaits her. As for me and Gary, we took all of his dad's prized possessions and family heirlooms with us before the house got demolished. And now I have a little table in the corner of the living room full of his pictures and ornaments, kind of like a shrine to honor his memory. Albert was kind, caring, thoughtful, and had the biggest heart of anyone I ever met. I loved him, and I was lucky to have him in my life. We could never see him as regularly as we would have liked, what with us living so far away. But we feel blessed to have been able to be there for him during his final days. My late father-in-law never said much to me about his wife, but he made clear that he was fully committed to divorcing her if it was the last thing he did. They'd been married for 50 years, and he knew her better than anyone. I shudder to think that she must have been like behind closed doors. I don't know whether heaven is real, but if it is, I like to think he's up there, looking down on me and Gary with a smile on his face. I hope he can forget his evil ex-wife and live up there in happiness. Who knows? Maybe we'll be reunited one day.
Hey, Noah? Mom just told me that you moved into our house, but is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Why? You don't want me in your house?
No, it's not like that. I was just surprised because it was so sudden. What's the matter?
There's nothing wrong with me moving in, is there? I'm your brother, Lena. I want you to help me move my stuff into the house, but you were out on a business trip. I would have liked a more helpful sister.
Well, it's your fault for not telling me earlier.
It's my own house. I should be able to come back to my home anytime.
I'm not blaming you or anything, don't get me wrong.
What's your problem then?
Jennifer, your wife also moved in with you, right?
Of course. Why wouldn't she?
We're gonna be living together, Noah. Didn't she say anything about it?
No, not at all. She was happy that she no longer has to pay rent.
I hope you guys are at least gonna pay for your own living expenses.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about your food expenses and electricity bills.
Huh? We're a family, but you're asking us to pay for ourselves? I never paid them when I lived with Mom and Dad before I moved out.
You were a student back then. I pay for my own living expenses too now that I graduated and started working.
It's just the two of us. There wouldn't be much different.
No, this is a big problem. First of all, I don't think you paid back the $50,000 which you borrowed from Mom and Dad.
I'll pay them back someday.
You say that all the time. You spend all your money on gambling and you never learn from your mistakes. I know you visit us from time to time so that you can borrow money from Mom and Dad. Whenever you use up all your money, you come back home and steal our savings from the cupboards. You're as awful as a criminal robbing our family.
You call your own brother a robber?
Am I wrong, Noah? You're doing the exact same thing as a robber. You have a wife, can't you be more responsible?
Shut your little mouth. How about you worry about yourself, not me?
Why should I be worried about myself?
You're over 30 without a husband or a boyfriend, and you live with your parents. Are you aware of your own situation? Try comparing yourself with others your age.
So what? Am I causing any trouble to anyone?
Mom's definitely worried about you. We're worried about you ending up alone when they get older.
You're worrying Mom more than me. She's always worried that you might steal their money whenever they leave the house.
I'll never steal again. If I move into your house, I won't have to pay for the rent.
Noah, I've been telling you that accepting you into our house doesn't mean we'll support all your living expenses too.
Lena, why are you so annoying? Oh, I get it now. You're worried that I'll take over the house. Come on, just admit your fears.
Huh?
I'm the son, the first child of mom and dad, right? So it's natural for me to inherit this house after their death, which means that you're technically living in my house.
You've been thinking like that all this time?
That's the truth, Lena. Just admit it.
Okay, now I understand how you really feel about the house. You have no idea.
You're the ignorant one. Don't you ever think you're better than me just because you've always been living with mom and dad. I'll kick you out of the house very soon. You should be embarrassed for living with your parents at your age.
I don't get why you aren't embarrassed of yourself moving back in with selfish reasons at your age.
I've experienced so many hardships living alone, Lena. You haven't left the house even once. You're an embarrassment, you know that?
Let's end it here. I'm gonna tell you one last time that you have to pay for your own living expenses if you're moving into our house. Don't depend on mom and dad with everything.
Hey, Lena, your room is the biggest, right?
Yeah, so what?
Your room used to be mine. Now that your brother is home, don't you think you should give me back my room?
You can't just move in and demand me to give back your room.
Jennifer and I share the smallest room in the house. Why do you get to live in the largest room alone? It doesn't make any sense.
You both only use the room to sleep, but I have work to do at home, so I prefer staying in a larger room.
We also want a large room, Lena. Can we exchange rooms? We get your room and you get ours?
Huh?
You understand that we don't have enough rooms, right?
We have enough rooms. Mom and Dad's room, you and Jennifer's room, and my room. I think it's enough.
What are we going to do if our baby is born? Jennifer and I can share the room with the baby when the baby's young, but we'll need another room when the baby gets older.
You're really planning to take over our house.
Of course, it's my house.
To be exact, it's not your house.
For now, it's not, but in the near future, it will. You should start getting ready to leave the house.
Why are you telling me that?
Jennifer's worried if you're going to continue living with us. She feels uncomfortable around you, You should be aware that you're not welcome in this house. I guess you're still single because you're ignorant and lack consideration. What an evil sister I have.
If you don't want to live with me, why did you move into our house in the first place? You knew that I was living with Mom and Dad, right?
We assume that you'll leave once we move in. Aren't you uncomfortable as well?
You assumed that I would leave? How ignorant and inconsiderate. I heard that Jennifer doesn't do anything while Mom does all the housework.
Mom's better at housework than Jennifer, so I don't see any problem.
It's definitely a problem. If you guys are not going to pay for your living expenses, at least do some housework. I'm talking about you too, Noah. Both you and Jennifer should help with housework.
Ugh, Lena, stop being so annoying. How about you? Are you helping Mom with the housework?
I make breakfast for them every morning. I also pay for my living expenses, unlike you.
I bet being single gives you extra time and money. How sad to be single.
Noah, don't you ever think that you can always depend on Mom and Dad?
Don't you ever think you can always live in this house, Lena. I'm not asking you to find a husband. It's not so hard to find a new house, is it? Just leave the house as soon as possible. But I'm warning you beforehand, okay? This is a warning, Lena. I'm not going to accept any complaints from you, all right?
Noah, did you enter my room without telling me? Stop it right now. Get out of my room.
Hey, did Mom tell you about it?
Stop doing whatever you want in our house. You're causing so much trouble.
Then just leave the house. That would solve everything.
How many times do I have to tell you that I won't leave?
Why don't you understand, Lena? You seem like you don't understand your position in this house, so I decided to take action.
Take what action?
I moved your stuff to the garage so you don't have a room anymore. Mom's too nice to tell you this, but you're the one causing them trouble, being single and not leaving the house. Stop depending on Mom and Dad. Just leave already.
Noah, let me tell you, we don't own the house. I think you're misunderstanding.
It's not our house? What do you mean?
We had to sell it to pay back your debts. Dad no longer owns the house. There's nothing you can inherit now, Noah.
You sold the house? Then why are we still living here? Stop making up stories just because you don't want me to inherit the house.
We pay the rent to live here.
Are you serious? What are we gonna do? Who's gonna pay when Dad gets older and is unable to pay?
Oh, about that. There's nothing to worry about. We're gonna pull down our house soon. This is our temporary house until it gets pulled down. There wouldn't be any rent to pay when we no longer have a house.
Pull the house down? Why didn't you tell me earlier about such an important thing?
It's your fault for moving in so suddenly with selfish reasons.
Where's Mom and Dad gonna live after the house is pulled down? They're gonna be moving somewhere else, right?
Yeah, they'll move with me into my new house.
I guess we'll join you guys then.
Huh? Why?
We currently live with Mom and Dad, so it's natural for us to move into their new house.
Did you see what I just texted you? Mom and Dad are moving into my house. It's not Mom and Dad's house. Why would I have to let you and Jennifer live in my house?
That's ridiculous. What are we supposed to do then?
What would I know? You better start looking for a new house to live in. The house is going to be pulled down next month.
We don't have enough time.
We didn't have any time to prepare when you guys moved in so suddenly. When you took away my room, you told me to find a new place to live. I guess it's your turn now. I thought you were the one who said it's not so hard to find a new house. You kicked me out of my room. Why would I accept you to live in my new house? I warned you, Noah. I think you should find a new house to live in with Jennifer.
Lena, why did you leave us?
I said I won't let you both live in my house. There's not enough space for you and Jennifer.
Even so, how can you just move out leaving us homeless? I thought we were a family.
Says you, who never paid back $50,000 to his parents and stole money from the house. Plus, you suddenly moved back into our house because of your selfish reasons, believing that you would soon inherit the house. I'll never forget how you moved all my stuff to the garage and kicked me out of the room.
I thought we owned the house.
That doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. Do you understand how much trouble you caused for our family? What makes you think that you can inherit the house?
I'm the only son in the family, and I thought I would be in charge of looking after our parents when they get older.
I'll take care of them, just like I've been doing till now. You've done nothing for them. What can you do now? They're not looking for a caregiver. They just want their money back more than anything.
Mom and Dad are not replying to my texts and phone calls.
They decided not to take any more contact with you now that they left the old house. Oh, but be sure to pay back the $50,000, okay? We have the IOU.
Hey, Lena, we really need help.
I bet.
We don't have enough money to move into somewhere new. Jennifer fell sick from the shock of you leaving us.
Not my business. It's your fault for depending on us too much. I heard you quit your job when you moved in. Mom had been telling you to find a new job, and you were the one who ignored her.
I couldn't find a good job.
Are you in the position to choose jobs? Just get any job. There's still several weeks until the house is pulled down. You can start by getting a part-time job.
A part-time job won't be enough. We'll only be able to make a few $100s.
You never know until you actually try. You also didn't bring much stuff when you moved in, so I think you can save some moving expenses.
Moving requires money. There's rental fees and much more to worry about.
If you're worried about money, you can always start by renting a short-stay apartment.
Lena, look, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I tried kicking you out, and I'm sorry for everything that we did.
You think I'll forgive you with a simple apology?
Please, Lena, let us live with you for a few months.
Nope, never. You never kept your promises. I bet you'll stay forever if I let you live in my house.
I promise, Lena, believe me.
If only you had started paying back Mom and Dad. It would have made you sound more promising. Considering all the trouble you've caused to our family, I don't think I can ever believe in you.
Okay, I won't ask you to let us live with you then, but at least tell us where you moved to.
I know what you're trying to do. You're planning to move in with us.
Why would I do that? Come on, Lena. Believe your brother.
Why do I have to tell you so many times? I told you that I can't believe in you anymore.
Why? Can't you be nicer to your dear brother? A little help won't hurt.
You could have been a better brother too, Noah. Remember all the trouble you caused your sister? We had to sell the house because of you, and you always stole money from our house. Do you know how hard Mom had to work to save all that money? She was saving her pay from her part-time job so that she could travel with Dad.
I'm sorry. I regret everything I did to Mom and Dad.
If so, why aren't you paying them back? I never thought of you as my brother. I'll tell you their bank account so that you know where to send them the money. If you regret what you did, start paying them back even if it might take some time.
I can't start paying them back if my basic living needs aren't being fulfilled. I don't even have a house.
Didn't I tell you, Noah? Stop depending too much on Mom and Dad. It's your fault that you lost our trust. There's nowhere you can go home to and no one you can depend on. You're no longer part of our family. You're just a debtor. Apparently, Noah and his wife left the house just before the old house was pulled down. However, he ended up borrowing more money to support his living expenses, so he hasn't even started paying back my parents. My parents have given up on getting back the $50,000 they lent him, and are now trying to use up all their savings so that there would be nothing left for my brother to inherit. I support my parents' decision because I don't want my brother to inherit anything either. My brother texted me the other day saying that he really needs to pay back his debts as soon as possible, so I finally decided to block him from my contacts. I don't want to be involved in any of his business. I no longer know what my brother and his wife are going through, but I've decided not to get in contact with him ever again. He deserves to be chased after his debt collectors. I'm currently enjoying a relaxed life with my parents after moving into our new house. Our new house has great security, so we no longer have to be afraid of robbers like my brother stealing money from us. I initially thought of paying back my parents on behalf of my brother, but my parents never asked for my help. They even offered to rent their own apartment when we decided to pull down our old house. They thought they might be a nuisance if they move into my new house. I can never forgive my brother who betrayed my kind parents, and I love my parents who are always considerate of me from the bottom of my heart. I want to become a daughter they can be proud of so that they can heal from what my brother did to them.
Eliana, it's getting close to the end of the summer, but I wanted to see what your plans were for seeing everyone. You're still planning to come back home, right? It's been so long, and everyone here wants to make sure we can at least have all the family together for a weekend. And to make sure we have a really good time, we can even take everyone out to that really fancy Italian restaurant you like.
It is getting close to the end of summer, isn't it? Seems that my husband's folks are also getting together soon and want to do a barbecue or something while all the cousins and such come over. I still have no idea what days they're planning on holding the barbecue and such, so could you hold on for a bit?
I see. Well, if you decide that you'll have time to come back to our place, just let me know. We like to be able to get you and your husband's room all cleaned up so you can stay here and not have to find a hotel.
Thank you, Leah. That means a lot.
I've noticed that ever since you married, you haven't been home to Mom and Dad's place. They are getting pretty lonely without you, you know? And I feel that same way. I haven't seen you at all since your wedding. I mean, we can see that you haven't even been posting as much anymore on your social media, which you used to always keep up on.
I'm sorry, Leah. Before I knew it, it seemed that my husband's family became the priority for me. And we had all sorts of things that kept us busy right after we got married, so I never had time to be on my phone like I used to.
But what about your guys' honeymoon? I would have thought you post something from that trip you guys took, yet there was nothing.
Well, we just got carried away with his mom and dad, so we never actually went on our honeymoon after the wedding. His family just means a lot to me, so I have to be around them a lot. But don't worry, deep down, I've still been thinking about and wanting to see you all.
Well, that's good to hear, I guess. And I hope you start finding time again to have your own time soon.
Are you all doing okay?
We sure are. Dad's been thinking about retiring next year, and so we've been helping him work all of that out. And Mom is getting ready to go on a trip with some of her friends and her sister to the Grand Canyon since none of them have seen it before. Of course, they're also planning to go to Las Vegas for a night or two to gamble some more. Anyway, how about you? Are you getting used to living with your husband and his family?
I'm starting to get used to it, but I feel like I've messed up. Having to live with his parents is getting pretty tough for me at times, since I haven't actually known them that long. That's why I've been so busy with them here. I also feel a little jealous knowing that you get to stay with Mom and Dad.
That does seem pretty tough, living with parents that aren't really your own. Of course, I'm sure living here with Mom and Dad is working my husband pretty hard as well.
Is David getting pretty close with Mom and Dad now?
Well, I like to think so. They're always cracking jokes with one another, and even when I'm not around, they go out and have some fun. I sort of get the feeling Mom and Dad care more about him than their own daughter at times.
Is that so?
In our case, we have been married now for almost 4 years, so that's probably why he's gotten so used to Mom and Dad now. I'm sure things were as tough as they are for you now back when we first moved in with them.
Well, my husband and his family are all really nice people as well, so I don't feel like they have anything against me at the moment. At least there are no problems that we've been having to deal with between each other.
That's good to hear. Recently, I've really gotten the feeling that David is the real son of Mom and Dad here, and that I'm more like the wife that he's brought into the family.
Well, that's great. Must be nice being so close to one another there.
What's wrong? You're acting like things aren't actually going that well there.
No, that's not what I meant. They're treating me very well, and every day is just as fun as the last.
Really? I hope that's the case, because it seemed like you don't actually think that living there with them.
Things weren't going that well here, I'd be back home with you, all right?
I suppose that's true, and you haven't even come home once yet. But that better mean that things really are going well there, and that you're just not trying to bear with it. Before I forget, I sent you a package a little while back filled with foods, but mainly our blueberries. Have you gotten it yet?
Yes, I did. Thank you for another care package this year. But this year you seem to have put in even more things than last year. Like, there are at least 6 gallon bags full of blueberries in here, where last year you only sent 2.
We were able to harvest a lot of berries this year from all the bushes. So much that I had to give some to the neighbors as well. Must be because of the amount of rain we got earlier in the summer followed by all that sunshine.
Oh, that's probably why there's so much.
Yeah, with that amount of blueberries in there, you should be able to make a large amount of your blueberry wine this year, right? Everyone will love it. I'm hoping you can make enough to last until next Easter.
I've always loved making that wine with the delicious blueberries in Mom and Dad's yards, so I'm really looking forward to this. And I'm thinking this amount will at least get us 6 or 7 bottles worth. Do you think you could talk to my mother-in-law for a second? She has something she wants to say about the blueberries you sent.
That's fine with me.
This must be Leah, right? It's been such a very long time. I think the last time we spoke to one another was at your sister's wedding a while back. And thank you for sending us some of your family's blueberries every year in the mail.
It's been far too long, Jill, and don't worry about it. I made sure to throw some other things in the box as well.
But the blueberries you guys got this year are just amazing. Compared to what we get at the grocery store, these things are just wonderful. Can you please let your mom and dad know how good these are as well for me?
Sure, I'll let them both know.
All of these blueberries you get from the woods behind your house, right?
Yes, we have a couple large patches of those blueberry bushes back there. And because we get so many every year, we have no other choice but to send them to everyone we know.
That is just amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to think about us as well. I felt so bad for not thanking you sooner for this.
Don't worry about it. It wasn't that big of a deal for us. My family doesn't have a need for all those berries, so it was better to give them out than to let them go bad. And since Eliana makes wine with them, we thought this year we send her the most.
Really? Well, that's great to hear. By the way, does this mean you guys might still have some of these blueberries left?
We still do. We really did end up with a large harvest this year, so we have some bagged up and everything in our cooler outside.
Really? Well, that is so wonderful. Well, if you have no use for those ones, do you think you could send us a little bit more? Do you think you could do that for us?
Huh? Are you really okay with us sending you that much? I thought I already sent you more than you guys could eat and use.
Don't worry about that. If it was any other family, I'm sure that'd be enough. But in my house, everyone loves to eat blueberries, and we make all kinds of desserts with them as well. We also have some friends that enjoy your guys' berries, and so we've been wondering if we could get any more this year.
I see. All right. I suppose I can send you guys a little bit more.
I'm sorry to have to ask, but do you think you could send us just as much as you sent last time? 6 of those gallon bags worth?
You really are okay with that much?
Oh, really? We could go for truckloads of these things, but even then it might not be enough for us. You did harvest a lot this year, so that should be fine, correct?
All right then. I'll get those to you guys as soon as I can.
Oh, thank you so much. And if that ends up not being enough for us, it'd be all right to ask again, right?
Huh? I guess that'd be fine.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I guess I'll be in touch with you again. I'm looking forward to even more berries.
Leah, the next batch of blueberries have arrived. Thank you for getting this to us so soon. You even put in a bit more than last time, huh?
Well, it seemed your mother-in-law really wanted a lot of blueberries. She even made it seem like she wanted to ask me again for more in the future. So that's why I ended up sending that large amount.
Jill can be a bit pushy at times. Sorry about her. But thank you so much for these.
I probably shouldn't be saying this about her, but she seems to be a very pushy person, actually.
I'm really sorry.
No problem. It didn't really bother me. I've dealt with far stronger people, so it didn't bother me. But are you really okay with her being that strong? I'm sure you'll have a lot to deal with processing all those blueberries now.
Well, like she told you, everyone here loves blueberries, so they've been picking at a lot of them. But I guess I'll have a lot of wine to make. I'm even working on it right now.
Is there any extra equipment that you can use there? Maybe Jill is helping you out.
Nope, they don't really have the tools I need, so I only have what I brought. And also, Jill isn't the kind of woman to do these sorts of things.
Really? She's not helping you? There's at least one person there helping you though, right?
It's just me.
What? With that large amount of blueberries? That's going to overwork you.
Well, I've always been the one to make blueberry wine. It's my job. It's a bit harder this year, but I still love making it. So I'm not really complaining.
Yeah, but Jill isn't helping you at all?
Not at all. Today, she left me at home alone to do all this work while she went out again with some friends for coffee. So that's why I'm taking the time to get everything done as quick as I can.
She's not even going to help you make the wine, yet wants more and more blueberries from us? That's a little bit ridiculous of her.
Well, I'm not really that worked up over it. I really enjoy this kind of work. And to me, making wine every year is my responsibility.
Hey, are you sure you're doing okay with everyone in your husband's family?
Why do you ask? Especially after I said everything's fine.
Well, I'm still a little bit worried is all. And seeing that they're not even going to help you with any of the winemaking with that large amount of blueberries. Also, from what I saw of Jill when we last spoke, she seems to be a very pushy and overbearing kind of person. So I really do wonder if you're okay there.
Well, you're right to think that Jill is the kind of person that doesn't hold back, but, well, that's something I kind of like about her. Just know that they're treating me well here. I mean, I'm not going to complain when she's giving me a place to live and let me marry her son.
Okay.
And when it comes to making this wine, I'm always looking forward to everyone letting me know how delicious it is when all my work is done. And I was the one in the first place that could said I'd handle making wine with the berries. We really are doing great over here, so please don't worry.
Well, if you say so.
You really are the type that gets so worked up over nothing. I told you this before. If things weren't going well over here, I'd be coming back home to everyone.
I suppose you did say that. Sorry. Recently, I've heard of some coworkers about how at times the mom will try and pick on their daughter-in-laws for no good reason. That's probably why I'm feeling a little worried right now.
I'm sure there are people struggling with those sorts of problems, but in my case, I'm doing perfectly fine here. But thank you for worrying about me.
It's all right. I'm glad to hear that everything's going well for you. Ah, that's another thing. I just remembered I needed to ask about your family there. Or actually, people around your family's house. Is there someone with the last name Shelton that lives near you guys? Recently, that person has been coming into my office in the middle of the day. But it seems that they're from the same part of town as you guys are.
Huh? Shelton? I'm sorry, but I don't know them. I haven't really gotten around to meeting everyone in this neighborhood yet.
Oh, really?
I just let Jill handle all the relations with the neighbors and such. All I do is keep up with the family. I just make sure that everything within this house is okay, and that's all.
I see.
Well, does that Shelton person know anything about me? Have they said anything about me or about this house?
No, I just spoke with them, and hearing where they lived made me think about your part of town. But we never spoke about your house or anything like that.
Oh, well, that's a relief.
Is there something wrong with this Shelton person?
Nope, I just didn't want you talking about me or the family without me knowing about it. And perhaps if they knew me, I didn't want them saying anything bad about me.
That would never happen. Well, I can understand not wanting someone talking about yourself to some stranger.
Right. You didn't tell them anything about your little sister living near them, right? And that goes for any of your coworkers as well? Don't go off telling them anything about me that you shouldn't be.
I get it.
Sorry. Jill's friends just came over, it seems. I'm gonna have to talk with them now, so I'll see you later.
All right. Well, good luck with all that blueberry wine.
I'll try my best.
Eliana, do you have time to talk a little right now?
I have some time. What's going on?
Well, Eliana, what kind of life are you living over there?
What? Are you back to asking about if Jill is picking on me or not? I told you last time that I'm doing just fine, right? What's gotten into you?
I told you that I know someone that lives in that neighborhood with you, right?
Right, that Shelton person, right? And what does that have to do with me?
Well, that Shelton told me something a bit interesting.
Huh? What was so interesting about what they said?
Produce thief. They said it's become a real problem in their neighborhood.
Oh, is that so? That's the first time I'm hearing of this.
Are you sure? Because there are rumors going around of you guys being thieves. Shelton told me all about this.
Wait, so you have been talking about me with this Shelton? I told you not to bring me up with them.
Well, it seems they already knew about you. They even showed me a picture of us in a family photo. And when he looked at that picture with me, they told me they knew your face and that you're a thief.
Is that what they said? I'm sorry.
Are you actually doing something like that? If Mom and Dad find out about this, it'll kill them. What the hell are you doing, Eliana?
I'm sorry, but that's all my responsibility.
What?
I'm the one that's supposed to go around stealing produce.
There's no way you think it's supposed to be your job, right? What are you talking about?
But I have to do these terrible things.
What do you mean by have to? What's going on with you? Is someone making you go around and steal other people's things? Please tell me everything right now.
Jill is making me do this. She told me that it's my job as the new wife to go out and get food for the family.
So she's behind this? But why would she ask for you to go out and steal all of that food? You should have told her you can't just do something like that.
I know that being a thief is a terrible thing, and I've been telling her for a while now that I don't want to do things like that. But she told me that if I don't do as she says, she'll find a way to make me pay for saying no.
What the hell is wrong with her?
Jill, whenever she feels that I'm not doing my job well enough, she'll put bugs in the food that she makes for me.
What? Bugs?
She'll also talk down to me like I'm some sort of pet of hers. And in the winter, if she's upset with me, she'll have me stand outside and splash ice-cold water on me.
What? She's messed up. There's no way someone sane would be doing that to another person.
Well, Jill isn't sane. I really don't want to continue doing as she says, but I have no other choice.
Why have you been hiding this from me? When I asked if you were doing okay with them, you should have told me that Jill was treating you this way.
Jill scares the crap out of me, and I don't want her to hurt me again. And when it comes to my husband and father-in-law, neither of them seem to care. Really, there's nobody in this house that actually cares about me.
So that's why you've had to stay under the radar. But didn't you say that if things got out of hand, that you come back home to us?
Well, that was just to stop you from worrying about me. If I were actually going to try and run back home to you guys, everyone here would not take that lightly. I don't think I'd even be able to run away from them.
What would they be able to do to you once you're with us?
Jill is a really messed up person, Leah. She wouldn't let things like that go until the problem she has with me is dealt with. And she's not the kind of person that you can ever talk any sense into. If I made it home to you guys, she'd find ways to hurt you all as well.
And so, to stop that from ever happening, you bared all the pain yourself, all the way to the point of becoming a thief. You're an idiot.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for all of this.
You need to get out of that house right now, and then you need to divorce that man.
I want to. I really can't take living this way anymore. Leah, come help me.
I sure will. I have no other choice now.
Jill has asked that I go out to someone's garden again tonight to steal more vegetables, but I really can't do it anymore.
Tonight? Wait, I can use that to my advantage. I think I can start telling people in the neighborhood that it isn't you that's in the wrong, but your mother-in-law, Jill.
How long are you going to be out in that garden for? Hurry up and steal all you can and then get back here. If you keep taking so long, the sun will come up and everyone will see you.
I'm so sorry, Jill, but what do you mean you want me to steal all this for you?
Are you kidding me? Stop messing around and get the job done. I told you earlier that I want the cabbage and carrots out of that person's garden.
But nobody has any cabbage right now in their gardens. It's not even the right season anymore for that.
Well, if you look hard enough, there has to be someone with cabbage left over. Now go find one and get back here. If you can't find one before you step back into this house, I'll make you regret that. Do you want to eat another salad with spiders in it? Or even better, would you like to continue living in the old shed with all those mice?
No, I don't want to.
Then get to it and bring me what I want. And there'd better be the cabbage and carrots that I asked for here when you arrive. You usually get your vegetables mixed up and make all sorts of mistakes.
Well, just like every other time, this time is also going to have some mistakes. I'm sorry. My little sister has always had trouble identifying what kind of things are what, but she did grow up with a family that rarely farm for vegetables themselves.
Huh? Little sister?
That's right. This isn't Eliana that you're talking to. This would be Leah.
What? Leah? Leah? Why?
Good evening, Jill. I'm with my little sister right now. She's a bit busy at the moment, so I decided that I'd be the one to talk with you.
So this hasn't been Eliana talking to me this whole time?
Ever since you started texting her a little bit ago, it's been me you talked with. And now I've been able to learn all about your little secrets.
What are you talking about?
You don't have to start playing an idiot with me. I know about what you've been having my sister do for you. How you have her stealing other people's vegetables from their gardens and fields. And I know that if she doesn't listen to what you say, you put bugs in her food. Things like that.
Oh, come on. That was all a big joke. Why are you acting so serious about all of this? That was just a simple joke between me and her.
That kind of excuse isn't going to roll with me. Maybe you should try another excuse, and maybe make something up that's a bit more believable.
Well, excuse me, but what the heck are you doing? Why are you with Eliana right now anyway?
I've been walking around the house of a person that says they know my sister has been stealing from them. And to make sure that everyone knows who the real thief is, I'm going to show everyone in the neighborhood these texts.
What?
I'm really happy that you chose the perfect time to start talking to Eliana like that. Because of you, I'll be able to explain all this to everyone you've harmed with ease. You'll be the one to blame, and everyone can see that Eliana had no other choice but to help you in your thievery.
It's not like I was threatening her to do it for me.
Didn't I tell you that you have to have way better excuses to get me to believe you? I want everyone that has been harmed by you to stop thinking that it's been my sister that's been wanting to steal from them. I want them to know that it's been you telling her to do all these things.
Ugh, the only one that's done anything illegal has been your sister. I never went out and stole anything from anyone. So why do you think I have to be the one responsible for all of her actions?
Well, it seems that the people that already know about this are blaming you, and they'll make sure to bring it up with other people in the neighborhood as well. And then they'll ask you to come see them, and can decide on whether or not to take you to court and sue you for what you've done.
If they go telling everyone about me, then everyone in the city will soon learn about what's been happening.
It's amazing that all the way out here a rumor like that could spread so fast. I'm sure that once everyone knows it's been you, you'll have a hard time living here.
Could you stop? If something like that happens to me, I'll be in huge trouble. What would I be able to tell my husband and son?
Well, it's not like your husband and son have been out of the loop this whole time, right? Well, perhaps you all should move out of here. It's not like the man that my sister married and expected to protect her did anything for her anyway.
I don't care about that. All I know is that this is all your sister's fault. The person that should be blamed and made to go to court is Eliana. I'm not going to pay for her crimes.
And my sister doesn't plan to pay for those crimes either. And that's why, to prepare for this, she ran away from you all. So right now, the only people in that house are you three.
What the heck? Why does everything have to come back to us? I want you to stop all of this needless crap right now.
Compared to what you've been doing to everyone in this part of town, I'm not causing any needless trouble. And I'm already pissed off knowing that my cute little sister has been forced to do all this stealing for you, or else she has to be hurt by you in other ways.
Well, it's her fault for being the young wife in this family. You should know that it's her fault, right?
Even if you think so, there's been someone here doing far worse things than her. I'm sorry, but my family is not going to let you get away with the things you've done to her. After all, I heard from Eliana that you once told her that if she ever told my family about this, you'd have to deal with us, right? Well, that's not going to happen, because we made sure to be a step ahead of you. So if you really don't want to start acting like an adult and taking responsibility for what you've done, then I'll make sure that you're paying more than a little money to those you stole from. After that, we told the rest of the neighborhood about what had happened, and then from there, Eliana and I went back to my mom and dad's. And then, after a few days, we heard about everyone in the neighborhood going ahead and dealing with Jill and her family. Eliana was aware that the police would come to see her as well about this, and so she prepared for this day to come. But because everyone knew that my sister was being forced to do all that stealing, they didn't hold it against her, and so the police only dealt with Jill and them. And to make sure that the police knew of this, they stated that they didn't want anything to be done with Eliana in the end. I'm sure that they all still blame my sister a little for doing some bad things by following through with what Jill had asked her, but their understanding and care for her is something I'm very grateful for. Once Eliana had left that house, things really went downhill for that family. The whole town got together and started to make sure that they all were aware of the steps that would be taken against them. Of course, Jill and them could not deal with all the pressure from everyone. And so after a day in court, they paid out whatever money they could to those that were victims of Jill. But even after getting the money they all asked for from Jill, they were still not happy with what had happened. And so from then on, Jill and her husband and son never really left their house. It didn't even take too much longer after that for them to finally reach their limit, and soon they were moved out of that house. And since then, we have no idea where they went. Just a day ago, however, Eliana's husband came to her house and tried so hard to apologize to all of us. He even tried his best to tell us that he never knew his mom was doing all these horrible things to Eliana. But even if he didn't notice all this happening to her, that would still mean he must not have cared enough about her to be with her when he got home from work, right? When we asked him that simple question, he had no other excuse to use, and we all came to the conclusion that he needed to divorce her. He reluctantly agreed with us, but through the whole process was crying and sobbing, asking for forgiveness from all of us. Instead, though, we asked that he made sure to give Eliana half of his properties in the divorce, and then we'd be able to forgive him. Currently, Eliana is back home with us still, and is being loved by every single one of us here. When she first got back to us from that awful household, she was very white and seemed so out of it. But just after a week, her color began to return and she opened up even more to everyone. To make sure that she never has to think about all that's happened to her, We plan to take time off to do all sorts of fun things with her and make sure that she has a bunch of new memories to cover up the past. And so for that reason, we're going to start by having everyone go on a family vacation, somewhere warm and sunny.
Charlotte, I officially got married.
Oh my gosh, congratulations!
Thanks!
Oh, I can't believe you're married, sis. I'm happy, but lonely at the same time.
Why? I'll always be your sister.
But we'll have different last names. And you'll be living with James and his family now, right? Oh, it feels like you're part of a different family now.
That's true, but we'll always be sisters. Nothing can break our bond.
Yep, for sure. When are you moving?
Probably by the beginning of next month.
All right. Enjoy your single life until then.
Yeah. I'm trying to get rid of stuff before I move. I don't want my stuff to take up too much space in my new house. I don't want to cause any trouble to his family.
Ugh, I can't imagine myself living with my parents-in-law. I'm not mentally tough like you.
You call me tough? Well, I can't deny that.
I wish you the best of luck. I'm always here for you when you need me, sis.
Thanks, Charlotte. I'll do my best so that I can develop good relationships with my parents-in-law. I'll also try to keep a good balance between my job and housework. I have so many things to do.
Are you gonna work at your parents-in-law's hospital?
Yep, I'm planning to work as a nurse at their hospital.
Your father-in-law is the head doctor, right? It must be hard to work under your husband's father.
Honestly, yeah, but I heard James is going to be the new head doctor soon, so my situation might get worse after that.
I see. You're gonna be the wife of the head doctor.
I'm going to support James just like how his mother supported his father. His mother agreed to teach me about business and management.
I respect you, sis. I don't think I'll ever be able to work under such pressure. Oh, by the way, I saw your husband's hospital getting interviewed on a TV show the other day. I was so surprised to see my brother-in-law on TV.
Yeah, I watched it too.
I happened to come across his interview when I was watching my favorite TV show. I never knew he was the son of a famous hospital. The interviewer introduced him as the handsome doctor.
Apparently, he got famous through social media. Now he has so many female patients, and I'm having complex feelings about this as his wife.
Well, we can't deny that your husband is handsome. Now that you're married to a handsome doctor, I bet a happy future awaits you. Not everyone can find an ideal husband like you.
We never know what awaits in our future, but I'll try my best to support James as his wife. I don't know how much of a help I can be, though.
Oh, don't worry. I know you'll be a wonderful wife. You are the perfect daughter, sis. You're smart, hardworking, and even beautiful. I bet more male patients would visit the hospital to catch a glimpse of you.
You're really good at boosting my confidence, Charlotte. Are you trying to make me buy something for you? Flattery will get you nowhere.
I'm telling you the truth. It's what I really think of you, sis. Oh, by the way, are you with your husband right now?
Yeah, he's right next to me.
Then, can you tell him this? I hope you take good care of my precious sister.
You can directly tell him. I'll give you my phone so you can talk to him.
Huh? Oh, wait a minute.
Hi, Charlotte. It's me, James.
Oh, hello. Congratulations on your marriage.
Thanks. I'm gonna be your brother from now on, so feel free to contact me anytime if you need me.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm happy to have a nice brother like you. And I hope you can take good care of my sister.
Of course. You seem really considerate of your sister. It's nice to see Abigail having a nice relationship with her sister. I wish I had siblings too. You two seem really close and supportive of each other.
I guess we're especially close compared to others, mainly because I love my sister.
I see. Was Abigail a good sister to you?
Yeah, she was the best sister. I used to be bullied by my classmates when I was little. My sister always came to my rescue.
I can imagine that. She surely has a strong sense of justice, and she hates bullying.
Yeah, for sure. The bullies sometimes tried to get revenge on her, but she nonetheless came to protect me.
That's really brave of her. I was also attracted to her kindness, so I understand why you love your sister so much.
I'm glad you understand, but she does tend to work too hard, sacrificing herself for others sometimes.
Are you worried about Abigail leaving the house to live with my family?
To be honest, yes. I know you're really kind and that you love her, so I might be worrying too much, but...
I understand your worries, but I promise to make Abigail the happiest wife in the world. You can believe me, Charlotte.
Thank you so much. I'm glad my sister married you. Please take good care of my sister. Hi, James. Are you busy next month? Our family and relatives are planning to go camping, and we were hoping that you and Abigail could join us.
Hi, Charlotte. Thanks for inviting us. I'm sorry to tell you, but I don't think we can make it this time. We have an academic conference next month, and we're busy preparing for it. I'm sorry.
Oh, I get it. Don't overwork too much.
We wish the best for our patients. I want to do whatever I can to help them. It's our job as doctors.
Is my sister also busy? She hasn't replied to my messages, and I've been worried about her. My parents told me that she hasn't contacted them either.
Really? I'm sorry to hear that. She's been really busy recently, so I guess she forgot to contact you and her parents.
Is something wrong? Do you know anything?
Actually, my grandfather who's living with us has been feeling ill. He's been requiring special care because of his health condition, and Abigail has been taking care of him. So she's been quite busy these days.
Oh, does that mean she's not working at the hospital right now?
No, she still works as a nurse here. She works at the hospital and also takes care of my grandfather at home. She perfectly completes both tasks. I can't thank her enough.
I should have been more considerate. I'm sorry to disturb you. I never imagined my sister to be this busy. I hope your grandfather's feeling better.
He's okay. It's just that his legs are getting weak and making it difficult for him to walk on his own. Abigail's been a great help. She's doing so much for our family. I feel sorry for relying too much on her. We've been very busy and it's really hard to make time to take care of him.
I bet doctors are really busy.
Sadly, it's true. We're short of hands, so we all have a tight schedule.
Oh, I see. I guess my sister will also be busy for some time then.
Yeah, I think so. I'm so sorry, Charlotte.
No, I completely understand. It was nice to hear about what my sister's going through.
I'm sorry to make you worried. I'm trying my best to support her as her husband, but several staff members left the hospital unexpectedly, so now we don't have enough workers. My parents and I can't help but rely on Abigail for the time being.
I bet the whole family is busy when they all work for the hospital.
Yeah, we've all been busy. Honestly, it's even hard to get some rest and sleep. I'll tell Abigail to contact you and your parents sometime, so don't worry. I bet your parents were worried about her.
Thanks, that would be helpful. I know you're busy, so it would be great if you can tell her when you have time. There's no need to hurry. I wish you the best of luck with your work. Be sure to get some rest sometimes.
Thanks, Charlotte. I'll make sure to tell Abigail about contacting your parents. I'll go back to work now. See you again.
Hey sis, were you out of town today?
Yeah. How did you know that?
Oh, I knew it was you. I think I saw you at the mall, but I wasn't sure if it was you.
Oh, were you at the mall too?
Yep, at the exact same mall. I saw someone that looked like you, but it was hard to guess because you were wearing a mask. You seem to have lost a lot of weight.
Really? I'm all right. It's just that I'm a bit tired. I've been busy, so I guess I lost some weight.
Some weight? It was definitely more than that. And what were you doing at the mall?
Why do you ask?
I saw you carrying stuff for your parents-in-law. You're their daughter-in-law, not a helper. I also heard insults, calling you dull and clumsy. They were definitely making fun of you. What's the problem with them? Why are you treated so badly? I'm pretty sure I saw you with your husband and parents-in-law.
Yeah, I was going shopping with my family. I never planned to tell you about this.
I can't believe it! James promised me that he'll make you the happiest wife in the world, but look at his attitude now. You're far from feeling happy. Are they like that all the time?
Not all the time. Sometimes they can be like that.
Be honest with me, Abigail. I saw it with my own eyes. You don't have to cover for them. You can be open with me, sis.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I can cover for them now that you've seen it.
What's going on? Did you have a fight?
No, they're always like that. They force me to do all the work, expecting me to complete all the tasks perfectly at home as well as at the hospital. Now they're even making me take care of their grandfather. I'm trying my best, but they just keep insulting me every single day, calling me a useless wife.
Huh? How come?
I guess I'm not their daughter-in-law nor his wife. They treat me like a helper.
When I contacted James, he said he felt sorry for asking you to do everything. He sounded like a really nice husband. Was he lying to me all this time?
Well, they like to put on a good front, and I don't think they'll honestly tell my family how they're treating me in reality.
He was acting to look like a great husband in front of me? He's a devil! I believed in him. I thought he would make a great husband.
I also found out his real personality after I married him. He was a devil dressed up as an angel. He really thinks I'm his useful tool or something rather than his wife. And not to mention how awfully his parents treat me as well. I have no rights in this household.
Abigail, I think you should get a divorce. You shouldn't be treated like a slave. They're out of their minds.
Yeah, they're all crazy. They look down on me because I'm a nurse.
Why are you staying silent? Just come back home. You'll go crazy with stress if you continue living with them. As your sister, I can't bear to see you being treated like this.
Don't worry, Charlotte. I have plans. His family is over.
Huh? Plans? What do you mean?
Thanks for being protective of me, but I'm okay. His family will soon be destroyed.
What did you do?
You think I'll always be their obedient wife? Come on. You should know me better. I have to take revenge. Don't you think so? I'll get a divorce after I take revenge on them.
Oh, okay. I'll leave it to my tough sister then.
Marriage won't change who I am. I'm always your tough, brave sister. My real self is not obedient at all.
Well, you surely have been tough since we were little.
I've been acting obedient after my marriage to give them an idea that I'm a supportive wife. I was acting quiet and gentle, like a typical ideal wife. But I guess that was a mistake.
You think they took advantage of your quiet personality?
That's my guess. I'm regretting my life choices.
So, what are you planning to do now? James acts like the perfect doctor at the hospital. It would be hard to reveal his true personality. And he also has a lot of supporters who would be willing to help him when he's in trouble.
Well, just wait and see. I'll make them lose all their confidence as well as their trust and bring the whole family down. By the way, I want to ask you for your help too, but would you be willing to give me a hand?
Sure, sis. I'm always here to help.
Thanks, Charlotte. I'll text you later about the details. Don't do anything until I ask you to, okay?
Hey, Charlotte, I can't find Abigail anywhere. Do you have any idea where she is?
My sister is with me right now.
I've been trying to get a hold of her since 2 days ago. Could you tell her to come home as soon as possible?
If you couldn't find her for 2 whole days, you could have asked for some help by the police.
I thought she just temporarily ran away from home. It's nice to hear that she's safe, though.
I doubt you would ever ask the police for help. You don't love my sister at all.
How can you say that? I was worried about her. Suddenly she just disappeared. I didn't ask the police for their help, but I was really trying my best to find her.
Oh, right. You wanted to find her as soon as possible because she revealed the dark secrets of your hospital. Were you trying to get revenge on her after you got hold of her?
Revenge? What are you talking about, Charlotte?
You don't have to act like your considerate husband. My sister told me everything.
Everything?
To the finest details.
Okay. And can you tell me something?
What do you want to know?
Why did Abigail do such a thing? Our hospital might go bankrupt because of her.
Because of her? She just made an accusation about all the injustice and illegal actions your hospital was hiding.
What are you talking about? We never did anything illegal.
You and your family have been charging fraudulent medical fees. Not just once, but uncountable times. I'm not a professional in this field, so I don't know how serious your crimes are, but I heard that you'll have to pay over $100 million for repayment.
We're a privately run hospital. The population of this town is decreasing every year. We had to make some adjustments to maintain our hospital.
Are you trying to justify your actions? Don't make any excuses. Everyone, even a little child, would know that you'll be punished for any illegal action.
How can Abigail's actions be justified then? Isn't it the wife's job to protect the household? What Abigail did is far from the role she should fulfill as a wife.
Why would she have to protect your awful household?
What did you just say?
I know how awfully my sister was treated by you and your family. I saw it with my own eyes. She was treated like a slave at the mall the other day.
Slave? Now you're being too sensitive. We just asked her to help with our groceries.
I heard you and your parents insult my sister. She told me you were forcing her to do all the housework and to look after your ill grandfather. While my sister did everything in the house, your family went out for dinner and even went on trips. My sister did not marry you to become the family's helper.
Charlotte, calm down and listen to me. I told you that we were short of hands, right? We had to ask for Abigail's help.
Then why did you have to insult her? I know your family is looking down on my sister, but you know how my sister is. She won't surrender to your family. You should regret what you did to my sister.
Tell her that we're sorry for making her feel uncomfortable. My parents also want to apologize. We want her back so we can have a family discussion.
Nope, she won't be going back. You might be waiting to get revenge on her. I can't just make my sister go back to your family. She'll be staying with me for the time being. I won't tell you where she is either.
We can always hire someone to search for Abigail. We'll get a hold of her in no time.
I doubt it. My sister asked me to travel by car and to constantly move around, so you'll never find us. I actually own an RV. We can travel as far as we want.
You can't be traveling forever. What are you gonna do? Live as a runaway forever?
Of course. My sister is going to get a divorce with you. Be sure to accept her decision when she asks you for a divorce.
Tell her to reply to my calls.
Nope.
Tell her.
Don't tell me what to do. Why would I ever listen to a jerk who treated my sister like a slave?
Did you just call me a jerk? I'm an elite and my family are all doctors. You know that? We're different from commoners like you.
You're just a group of criminals now. Bad reputations spread fast, you know. I guess your hospital will soon go bankrupt too.
After my father started his own hospital, we've been protecting it for 2 generations. I can't make it go bankrupt now.
It's your fault, James. You've messed with the wrong person. My sister is not the type to stay silent after being treated so badly.
I regret marrying her. I never knew she was someone who would do something so awful. Who would ever steal private data from her husband's hospital?
I was waiting for the right time to get revenge on you. Why don't you blame yourself and your family for treating my sister like a slave? Just wait and see. She has more to reveal.
Shoot, she thinks she's better than all of us. She'll never get away with this.
Says who? You and your family will never get away with all the crimes you committed. You should reflect on your wrongdoings, James. You broke the promise to make my sister the happiest wife in the world, so don't you think you deserve it? After my sister made an accusation, the hospital was officially investigated. It turns out that they had to pay for over $1 billion of repayment. Their hospital went bankrupt, and now they suffer from a huge debt. Their assets were seized as a result, and the family parted ways for payment. My brother-in-law lost his medical license, making him jobless and impossible to work as a doctor ever again. He was stuck in a desperate situation. The incident was broadcasted widely on the news. It was a great target for the media because his hospital was pretty famous. Many reporters visited my sister for interviews, and because she honestly revealed how awfully she was treated as his wife, his hospital received even more criticism by the public. My sister seems to have gotten over it, but I bet she suffered a lot during her marriage. She now enjoys her single life, finally free from her abusive ex-husband and parents-in-law. I'm happy that I'm able to see her more often compared to when she was married. To be honest, I preferred her being single. I hope she finds the right one next time who will make her the happiest wife in the world.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.